Joe and Emily, neighbors have spent the whole day here cleaning up debris left behind. Now, this home got the brunt of the damage from the crash. We're told the propeller was found in the bedroom. The plane then smashed into the shed before it came to rest here, just feet away from another home.
You can't see much behind me other than this plane and a few runway lights. We're definitely seeing those low visibilities of under a quarter of a mile that the Office of Emergency Management warned us about. Now, pilots are hoping to be able to get out of here tomorrow, but with that dense fog advisory sticking around until at least noon, it's not looking good. The biggest challenge for the American Red Cross the last few days has been getting volunteers into the city. And if you take a look here, I think you can see why. Just this evening, one lane of 290, this highway heading into Houston, opened up, and we can still see that there's water covering that one lane. Those shots just kept going. Car windows like this one were shot out today. There's still piles of glass on the ground. We're told from neighbors, children were playing just feet from here. So right now we're all watching this two-man showdown, but if we look a little further past that, we're going to see Jesse Royer in third place, Allie Zirkle coming in fourth place, and Paige Drobny in seventh place. Now, a lot can happen out there, but if things continue to go well for those women on the trail, we could see 3 women place in the top 10 for the first time in Iditarod history. The proof is on the trail. In this sport, your gender does not determine your success. Judge Corey was recommended for retention by the Alaska Judicial Council, as were all of the judges on the ballot. Never before have voters in Alaska ousted a judge. With both of these, the car's not going anywhere, and more than anything, this is a visual deterrent. And tonight we can show you there's still a bullet hole in the fence here. Did you or did you not slap a news reporter?
I will be coming out with a statement later, but for right now, I've no comment on that statement. I haven't fully seen that report, and so I won't make comment without reviewing that report first.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a yes or a no. I mean, did you do it? Is that ever okay? Is that appropriate behavior for a lawmaker, sir? Good evening. I'm Daniella Rivera. What happens in our courtrooms and on our streets changed on January 1st. Alaska is using a brand new pretrial bail system unlike any other. The signs are everywhere.
This doesn't surprise me.
Signs of drug use and addiction in a part of town that's seen better days.
They do it right in front of me. They're not hiding it. They're not scared.
But no sign is quite as obvious as this one.
But I don't know what else to do.
APD, drugs are sold on Hyder Street all the time.
Car rolls up. They come running over. Lots of transactions at the window. Car rolls away. People run off. And I got so tired of seeing this multiple times a day. It was like the ice cream truck rolled up and the little kids came running over.
The drug deals, vandals, and litter keep Rob Couples from renovating the home his grandfather built.
It doesn't belong to the streets. It belongs to my family, and it has for 70 years.
His first memories here are of his grandmother's garden and Thanksgivings with family. But his most recent is 2 people having sex on the front porch.
Right out in plain sight, pants down, right there on that concrete porch just a couple days ago.
And someone has already let him know what they think of his sign.
Some tweaker took this drive shaft and punctured a bunch of holes in it.
A sign to him,
Wham, wham, wham,
that it's working.
When I saw that, I knew that it was effective.
He says drug deals already seem to have moved away, except for this one, across the street from the sign, right in front of our camera.
People just walk up, shake their hand, boom, there's drug deal.
Behavior people who live at the Brother Francis shelter tell us isn't going away.
It's bad, really bad. I don't think there's anything that's going to change it.
Just moving around and getting worse.
It's not solving the problem, it's only pushing the problem somewhere else. But I, as a homeowner, that's all I can do.
His sign, an unmanned protest, pointing to a problem that shows no sign of getting better anytime soon. Daniella Rivera, KTVA 11 News. The state's been having problems keeping track of these guys, Kyle Andrews and Kennedy Talley, both violent assault suspects. This is video of Talley at his victim's doorstep with a gun. Both were released on the state's pretrial GPS monitoring. But when they violated their conditions, within hours of being released, instead of being tracked and rearrested, they got phone calls and more freedom.
Never, not once, ever is it okay. It's that simple.
We sat down with the experts, representatives from the remaining 3 private electronic monitoring companies in Alaska.
My question to them would be, why do you have this monitor on them if you don't go and find them before it dies.
Glenn Hamby with Alaska Defendant Monitoring, Dennis Johnson with Alaska Pretrial Services, and Matthew Baskett with Pioneer Peak Monitoring say there's no reason why a suspect released on a GPS tracker should be unaccounted for days.
What can happen in that time?
I mean, literally anything can happen in that time.
Since he has a victim, he can go right to the victim's house and nobody's going to pay attention. Well, PED's not paying attention.
We learned about the problems from the state's own records, warrants filed by the Pretrial Enforcement Division, or PED.
Is this accountability?
No way, shape, or form.
All right, would you like your device says?
With the help of a KTVA employee, they're going to show us how GPS monitoring should work.
All right, good luck, guys.
He gets a head start to head toward a hiding place of his choice.
Okay, our device is on the move now.
And soon, we're en route to find him.
We're just now departing his inclusion zone, which would have been KTVA. What route of travel do you have for him?
He went west on 24th Avenue.
I think rather than go in my apartment, we're going to check out the area behind there.
The accuracy is within 20 feet right now. It appears that he may be behind the building or he may be inside the building.
Got it. If you see any changes in the movement of the traces, call us.
Okay, we'll do.
I'll take this side. You want to take that side? Hey, bud. How's it going?
They got it. You guys got me.
Our smiling suspect now in custody. They show us another tool they can use for suspects who are harder to find.
There's absolutely no reason whatsoever that if we have somebody who's violated, PED or private, that we should not be putting ourselves out there for what we've agreed to do.
We made repeated attempts to speak with the PED or someone at the Department of Corrections for this story. The DOC sent a statement admitting errors were made, but would not agree to an interview.
I believe they 100% owe everybody an explanation of what's going on, because pre-PED 2018, my company would be shut down for that right there.
By the state?
By the state. One of those. No
Absolutely.
judge would ever give me another person to monitor if I did that.
Suspects continue to be released to PED supervision and will continue to ask questions, because if public safety is at risk, Alaskans need to know.
So something you don't see in that video, because it was just a demonstration, is something called a victim notification. They all told me that if a defendant violates their conditions of release, the very first call made is a call to the victim. And Joe and Megan, I can tell you, in Kennedy Talley's case, his victim told me PED did not notify her that they had no idea where he was.
Wow, eye-opening for sure.
Daniella Rivera is live at Turnigan at Orion Circle and Milky Way Drive. Daniella.
Well, Joe, the biggest main streets near where we are Wisconsin and Northern Lights Boulevard. Now, the plane's already been towed away. They're working to clean up the rest of the scene. What's remarkable about this story is the pilot walked away.
You can just hear the engine either stop or stall or run out of fuel.
That was the sound of this Cessna 180 right before it crashed on a residential street not far from where Mark Rochelle lives.
It just dropped right there. He didn't skid another 10 feet into the neighbor's garage. He could have driven it right into their garage.
Oh, yeah.
Michael O'Shea saw it in flight from his window, flying unusually low.
And then all of a sudden it went dead quiet. And about that time I looked out the window again. I didn't see anything. I thought, no, and then I heard a crash, right? No explosion.
He took out a light pole over there, and then obviously the wing clipped the house and just plopped right in the intersection right there.
Just feet from a West Anchorage park where families were out enjoying the sunny Sunday afternoon. The pilot walked away, borrowing a shirt from AFD because his was soaked in fuel, and no one who lives here was home.
We got very lucky today, and then we'll take that any day.
As Anchorage firefighters work to siphon gas out of the wings, the NTSB begins their investigation to find out what happened.
There is not a whole lot of time when you lose an engine at low altitude, so I'm sure that he did the best that he could in choosing a possible landing site, but the airplane just simply won't stay airborne.
Luckily, in this case, they have a pilot here to walk them through it.
Daniella Rivera joins us with the video and what the family is asking for in their first interview. Daniella.
Well, the short answer is answers. They want to understand what happened and whether police did everything they could to avoid the deadly outcome.
Empty hands in the air.
Open the door.
Open the door now.
This is a person Ampon Pomani doesn't recognize. Before SWAT teams, armored trucks, and a police robot filled the view from her family's Anchorage home,
we had this in the temple.
This is the brother she knew, a car fanatic and a Diamond High School graduate, just like her.
We were Diamond Links.
Kevin Pomani struggled, she said, with addiction, a medical condition that caused chronic pain and what she believes was an undiagnosed mental health issue. But for years, he held down the same job as an auto detailer.
That's something I would always carry with me, and I'm so proud to say that he's my brother because he was still able to wake up every day to go to work, to support his kids, support his family, no matter what.
On this day, she says he was unstable. He had a gun, and worried neighbors called police. APD says Kevin fired a shot through the front window, then fired a shot toward officers before going into the home. SWAT showed up with negotiators, but there was no response from Kevin for hours.
I feel like if somebody is already in an unstable mental state of mind, they're not going to be able to comprehend what's going on. They're not going to be able to take orders. He's just needed time.
At 6:35, APD used tear gas, forcing Kevin out of the house. He left through a back window. This is footage given to the family by a neighbor. It shows the fatal end to a tense situation.
That's the gas.
Hours later, Police Chief Justin Dahl would tell the community Kevin was armed with a sword.
He approached a perimeter team that included a police canine. He attacked the police canine with the sword and was shot by the SWAT officer that was in the perimeter position.
The family's backyard camera starts rolling after he's left the home. This is what it captured. The footage that you have seen from the home surveillance cameras, does it match the narrative you've heard so far from police?
No, what I see is my brother being shot and killed while he was down.
Ampon believes the pops and bangs you hear as her brother lies on his back are the gunshots that killed him.
I just see what I see, and it's not what I'm reading, and it doesn't match at all.
Around midnight, police take the camera down and carry it into the crime scene van, still on the scene. Ampon hopes sharing the surveillance video will lead to answers.
I want law enforcement to be honest. I want to know what happened to my brother. I want closure from my family. I want answers. We just want answers.
Until then, they're holding on to what they have. Photos and memories of Kevin on good days, and the video captured of his last. Anchorage police declined an on-camera interview, saying they do not comment on open officer-involved shooting cases. They also asked us not to air this report. We'll post their statement on KTVA.com this evening. Joe.
So, Daniela, we see in the video the body moving out of the frame. What's happening there?
Well, you'll notice that we don't really see the encounter with the canine officer, but the family believes the canine was tugging at Kevin, pulling him toward officers and out of the camera's view.